Hello, we have a game on IGS played on one handicap where black won by 20 points, quite a comfortable margin. So let's have a look. Diagonal Fuseki, and this usually leads to complicated fights, but black play very calm Shimari in the lower left corner. Then white attacks the top right. That's fine. White can also consider a middle side extension of C10 in order to remove black's extension in that direction. It's also possible to play a shoulder hit, which is just a fancy move recommended by AI, or an attach at c5. This can come later in the game as well. And the Sansan invasion, it's a trendy move. Anyway, so far so good. r14 is good directional play also. Now black plays his first questionable move this game. Normally, simply defend o17, then a Joseki will follow. Also, black can consider pincers or just Tenuki. Attack the top left corner or put pressure on the Sansan. But playing this double up, it's a bit weird. Usually this double up move is played when black already has a stone around n17. If he doesn't have that stone, he's kind of committed to play the extension next. So white extends for a base, and black should continue in the top right corner. But it feels a little bit slow to develop this way. Normally, if let's say white plays here, black has n17 in place. Now white approaches r14, then it makes sense to play r16 to prevent the Sansan invasion, in which case white extends for a base and black plays away. So this would be the right order of moves and the usual circumstance to play r16. So when black plays here, white extends back. White can also consider the Ogema, so it doesn't have all the stones flat on the right side, but r11 is fine. Then black played away. So in order to punish that formation in the top, white should come very early at p17. Okay, first defend here, and then a double approach. This move is playable too, but when black plays the kick, normally white has to go up. Now the corner is safe, he's not going to die, and black can take away the extension. So it's more interesting as a key point to play p17, because p17 just makes black feel more uncomfortable. It's like a knife stab in a rib. So black can block here or go down at q18 to keep the corner safe. Of course, black can also push and then white jumps out. The thing is, if black doesn't play anything in that corner, let's say black plays here, for white it's quite nice to take away the base with a came out r18. So locally, we often see black playing the empty triangle, because this way it takes away liberty of the top white stone, and white can hane and extend for a base. So white gets a very light formation there, and black ends up a little bit over concentrated with this empty triangle, but this is the way black usually plays to fix the corner. So white played o17 and then extends here in order to put pressure in the top and gain some speed. This is playable even if black gets a very nice move, this tiger mouth right away. It's nice for white to extend again. So that was a pretty good idea. Now if black plays j17, white will go up o16, and then black can play on the left side. And this would be a fine option for black too. Now when white protects the corner, black is already settled in the top, so black can just go for another middle side extension or approach the corner and then extend back to k4. So black develops a very nice moe on the bottom, those two solid groups in the top, while white has the moe on the right and two tiny groups in the top left and middle top. But anyway, o16 it's a very nice spot to take, especially that black can come into the center next. So white extends with a pincer, that's good. Now usually, when white has the pincer at h17, the follow-up is to play Kosumitsuke, then hane, cut, and leather. So in this case, white is going for a nice moyo, or at least some thickness, but the thing is, black will take away the extension like this, or play a shoulder hit, trying to set up a leather breaker. So now when white plays another move to get rid of the DRG, then black compensates on the right side, attacking severe the two stones. Therefore, this Joseki doesn't look so good in this case, and it's a fine idea to extend c11. Especially that in the top the base it's safe, the group on the left is fine, and playing c11 removes black's extension on the left side. So this was a good spot. Now black attacks the bottom. There are several ways to attack the bottom side. The most common move is to play q4, put pressure right away. This is usually the move that comes to mind, pretty much to any player, it doesn't matter which level. The second move to consider here is something, some attack from the bottom side in order to develop in the direction of e3. So it can be o3, it can be p3, the game move, or it can be o4. Now playing a little bit far away, this connects better to the bottom left shimari. And of course, black can play more territorial like this, and then extend back high, because playing all the moves low will end up flat. So black went all the way, I mean that close at p3, and here white played just Kosumi, but white can play Keima, q5, or even a 2-space jump at r6, for example. Black still needs to extend back towards the bottom, either m3 or m4 or l4. The thing is, if black extends too loose, white will invade later on. So usually black will simply make a 2-space base. And this way, when white plays r6 or q5, it narrows the gap on the right side, so there is more potential for white to set up a moai on the right. Now white should focus on the left side, play something like d7 or attach and pull back, then go up, and now reduce the bottom. So let's see the actual game, Kosumi. Now if white plays q5, the Keima, black usually extends back, and later on from this Keima, white can put some pressure and threaten some cutting points. Then it's going to build a very nice moai on the right side. White can play q9 or q8, or a jump like p10, or even an o-Keima like o10 to set up a box and prevent black's invasion or reducing move. So now black will probably play on the left side. So instead of q4, next time it's good to consider q5, r6. These are pretty much the moves to think about. So black went up here, which is good. Going Nobi, it's a little bit slow. Either play a Hane to put more pressure on black and also take away liberty, or a 1-space jump. So like this is more flexible. With a 1-space jump, it's nice to continue at p5. So black will take this spot because it creates some cutting points, but then white can double up like this, or play a Kosumi or a Keima, and if black pushes and cuts, the ladder works. So now black needs to extend on the bottom, and this way white already got the right side, so white will extend on the left, and it's okay to step up to the 4th line and then also think about ways to damage the bottom. So if black plays something on the left, it's not a big problem. Black needs to come back and connect, then white will invade the bottom side to compensate. So 1-space jump, more flexible, or Hane. When white plays Hane, if black cuts, white can Atari, push one more, and extend to the left. So now it's going to be a fight. The group on the right is safe, and those 2 stones in the middle can chase the other stones on the right. But the 1-space jump, it's more flexible. If black simply extends, white is happy to play a move like p5, which repairs an invasion. So black will play again, and this makes black a little bit over-concentrated, then extend on the left side. In the meantime, the right side is very nice for white. So Nobi, and black played a desperate invasion. Black should just extend on the bottom, l4. Then if white plays another move on the right side, black should go for the left side. This shows that black is already jealous for this Moyo coming up on the right, so he comes in, but it's dangerous. Playing a move like this, it's a little bit loose. It's true black should extend at L3, L4, so now he still has space to extend M3 for a base. For white, it's more interesting to take away the extension a bit tighter, like M4, for example. So when black comes out, white just goes between the groups. If black keeps pushing, then he needs to discard R7, which means his invasion will just die. So it wasn't appropriate. Another way for white is to turn, because white's corner is kind of vulnerable too. Then black will extend N4, then push again or attach to get even stronger. This attach or push are quite important moves, because for black it's quite nice to take the tiger mount. So you don't want to let that happen. Then black protects again, probably L4, because m3 it just feels a little bit too over concentrated. It can be L4, sorry, L3 or K3, and then white got a little wall, and we can surround this right side invasion with a shoulder hit. So that's a good way to counter that black invasion. So first separate, lean on the bottom stones, and go for the kill on the right. Now, if black comes out with a shoulder hit on the right side, white makes the base, pushing several times, so black is still baseless, and then continue on the bottom side. So again, the corner is not in danger. This R3 will just be fine, because if black keeps running here, it's going to be very painful to be crawling on the second line. Then okay, black will survive, no problem, but now white can attack very well the group on the right side and gain some potential in the center. So if this happens, let's just say black secures connecting to the top, then white extends on the left side, and there's a whole potential in the middle for a big moil. Back to the original game. So white invades like this, which gives black space. The meaning of this invasion for white is that if black attacks h3, white can go to the right, and if black attacks m3, white can make space to the left. So it creates Miaev, which is generally good, but it doesn't feel to be so aggressive or active against black stones. So this k3 was a little bit passive. Even that, well, according to the principle, wasn't a bad move. But now white's corner, it's a little bit thin. So here white should play s6 to prevent s5, or simply turn, because this turn still puts some pressure on the bottom group and also keeps black separated. Next, white can think about the q8 attack. So when black plays a move like this, or he goes out and then protects, white is strong enough to play this peep, which is threatening some cuts. Black will probably protect this way, but white surrounds everything. And then with this move, white is looking to play s8 and remove the base. So this can be a problem for black. So white extends on the left side, which seems to be like the last big open space to cover on the board. Of course, white can be more aggressive with c5 and pull back, then turn, and eventually Keima to expand the moy on the left side. But generally this feels good. Even though black can invade here, white can fight, no problem. So black tries to take away the base. Now, when black goes up like this, white doesn't have to connect r4. This feels a little bit painful, and locally it's still not alive. So white should simply turn, because if black pushes here, it's okay to sacrifice one stone. Anyway, the group on the right side is already alive, and going out like this, white can use this Tetsuji, because it takes away a liberty of the two white stones. So when black covers to connect his stones, white will just hane. Now when black tries to fight with a cut, Atari, and capture this guy. So all of a sudden, white leaves, but black is on the run with everything. So this feels a little bit painful for black. So the move is to go out into the center. Luckily, even if white plays here or any other move, there is only one eye, so white has to pay attention and stay alert and run out. Now black tries to surround, but this move doesn't really contain the corner. So yeah, this costume is fine. Black will block, but then the Han and everything, it's not necessary. Anyway, luckily, white can leave at s2 and keep this p1 in reserve, but white should still go out between black groups. So attach here, because this is a move that black cannot surround. If black blocks, white comes out. And going out, it's quite nice, because it may put a lot of pressure on the group on the right side. So in the process here, black can leave and put some pressure on the group. How will black survive? Yeah, black can leave also, but it's more painful. Anyway, eventually white comes back and make twice, but first it's good to separate. Now push here, it's an option, and then go out like this. Black seems in trouble too. So maybe white can even kill the group on the right side while trying to escape. So this gives black a pretty nice shape at n2, and it's better to play s2 directly, because later on maybe white can use n2 as a co-threat. So now black doesn't have to worry about the bottom group anymore. Okay, white leaves, then black tries to put pressure on this group. It's good to go out like that. Taking this stone is quite large. Yeah, but white doesn't have time to go down. It would be nice for white to extend here once and threaten the corner, then jump out. So this is a position where white should Kosumitsuke and Hane try to get some connectivity here. I mean, link all that wall and go for a lot of potential in the center. If black simply connects, which can happen many times, white pulls back. So there's a lot of potential for territory in the middle. If jump, black is also encouraged to jump in between. Ah, that's too aggressive. So another way is to attach and pull back. And Kosumi Hane when black cuts Atari. If the ladder doesn't work, white will just extend. But if black starts running here, it's not so great. So white is safe in the top and will build the left side while attacking. This is quite desperate, so Hane and connect. Yeah, that's good. Nice to play this Atari first and capture the stone. But here, white doesn't have to capture right away. It's better to go R10 and then turn. Now when black blocks, there's an Atari and the group is already alive. So white can play away. And now if black cuts and tries to connect other, it doesn't work. And if he sacrifices the stones just to make a link to set up a wall, black already lost many points because of giving up 1, 2, 3 stones, and white can jump in the corner. Besides, this wall is not going to function because it's white's turn, so white can just play a move in the center to reduce the potential of the wall and set up a big box in the center. So playing this move can actually be one of the losing moves, because when black goes Atari, now white has to struggle to leave. In fact, white can connect. Black can play Kosumi, white will block. The problem is black can take away the eye and then turn, and now white is on the run. So this is painful for white. And if black just plays S9 and white has to leave like this, it's only 2 eyes. So in order to make eye shape, it's important to play R10, because black has to cover here. And of course, if white plays away, black will Atari in center. That's why it's good for white to turn. And when black blocks, it's good to cut one time to create some margin in the center. But now, white doesn't have to do anything, or at least play a move like S15 to make more eye space and then threaten to jump in the corner. But white can already leave it like this, it's alive in center, and then expand the center. So this can be a turning point and win the game instead of lose. Okay, block. Now white can connect. Black will play S15, white blocks, but it's still on the run. I mean, black can just surround like this, or take away the eye and then keep the pressure on the group. This can be quite dangerous for white. Not easy to leave. Ouch. So white jumps. Good decision to jump. In fact, white can play Kosumi, and when black captures the call, then jump. Or jump in the corner to try to make eyes and destroy the points in the corner, then capture back the call. Like this, and later jump out in the center. This is not really a co-threat. So locally, white needs something around S13, S14, but if no co-threats, just jump out again. This move prevents the invasion on the left side, but doesn't seem to connect so well to the other stones. That's why it's more interesting to play F7 here. Also, as a probe, white can play this attach. So if black pulls back, it's already a good exchange, little gain. If black cuts, white can cut Atari from the outside and then go out to separate F5 from the corner and try to connect the whole thing on the left side and the center. Black played an interesting peep. it's fine to block. White is strong enough. If black goes down, white will cover and the group may die inside. After this block, here white made a crucial mistake. White has to block. Always block. Doesn't matter if there are two cutting points, but it takes away a liberty. So when black cuts, white can think about a squeeze play, like a jump here, or Atari from behind, Atari couple of times, and keep pushing. Because even if black takes another stone, it's not going to build much. And white keeps most of the stones connected, then encloses the box. So it's very important to block one time. And after the block, white can even consider Kosumitsuke here. Black will Atari connect. There are cutting points in the corner now. Black can sacrifice two stones. White is happy to take them. And now black needs to come back and protect against the cut. Then there's a peep here. And it's good to reinforce the bottom group and jump along or connect in order to keep the bottom safe. And the left side is fine too. So black didn't gain much trying this maneuver with d7. But if simply no b, black goes out and separates e7. Then if we go back a few moves, now we wonder why play e7 and lose it. Better don't play anything. I mean, this move is supposed to be connected to c7, so when the peep comes and white connects, white has all these stones surrounding d8. So black is the one who's supposed to suffer. It's not white who just gives up the stone like that. So this was probably the second place on the board where white kind of lost control. Push here would be good to see whether black turns or blocks, because it creates a cutting point. Even if white doesn't cut right away, for example, white can turn and give up the stone, the left side will grow, and white can just play a move like this, threatening the cut, then black will connect somehow to make sure the stone doesn't go out. So this is a pretty good sacrifice, because black invests lots of stones and builds nothing, and like this white reinforces the bottom. Now white has time to go back and continue the call and fix the right side. For black it's more to play a move like m7. This feels a bit random. Yeah, it's clear that the reason is to reduce black's potential, but anyway, when white simply attaches here, black is not going to surround too much. So right now, take the call, it creates a cutting point. If black plays here, white comes from the bottom. If black blocks here, then come from the center. But you need to play a move that's kind of connected to the other stones. Well, actually something like this works too, because when black separates, white can easily go jump towards the top. So white reduces, black continues the call. That's fine. Black is greedy. He should just take, allow the connection under, because there's a lot of potential here, and now continue the attack on the other stones. It's hard to rescue those stones. So white needs to sacrifice. But it's still a tough game for white actually. Here it's better for black to connect solid, or to Hane and then connect. And now when white connects here, there is still RG on the left side. If white captures, there are more co-threats. Playing the Nobi, white connects, there are no more co-threats there, and then it leaves a cutting point behind. So capture the ko. Kosumi, he went down. That's dangerous for the corner, but he didn't want to leave more co-threats. Now this move, white doesn't have to react. White can leave. Then if black plays Atari, after the connection there are two cutting points. So when black protects here, white can cut like this. When black protects here, white can cut like this and come out. And anyway, white leaves. White can connect under without even cutting, just cover or crawl, and it's safe. So it's more like a reflex play, Han and Obi. But being a co-fight and so important on the right side, why should consider Tenuki? That's fine. And normally, if white wants to keep the fight on, white needs to block here, because luckily the group in the top left is not alive. So black will take the call. White can play just around the group. And then black still needs to play Hane, and on this connection, actually the Hane will kill. So black needs to go here and then fight the call. So this is very dangerous for black. White connects now, that's a compromise, and black catches two stones to stay alive. Good decision. Black can actually cut then Atari, then play away because the two stones are captured and black is sent. Now black has the Tesuji on the right side, this move, where white has to turn and black separates. If white goes out, black can connect under, white needs to capture the stone and the tail will die. So this was gote for black, but stable. And now I think black already established territory superiority. So it's gonna be hard to come back. Here black can jump to reduce the middle and save his stones in a more active way. That jump was too much. Just push and keep it connected, then reduce the center like this, trying to get something in the middle. Yeah, that's a good move. Hane Nobi. But somehow black kept taking territories and it's hard to come back. Here should connect and fight no matter what. Black has to turn, go out. If black pips connect, when this move, Atari, connect and Kosumitsuke, white has to fight for every point. Like this, it's just going to give more points. Normally Atari is Sente and then Kosumi to connect, more elegant. But the position is rather thin, so now black keeps taking profit. This one is not necessary. Black will never play there, it's gote, so it's bigger to play moves like f2, this one threatening to connect the two stones, Kosumi this way, Han and everything in Sente, descent here. What are the big points? Han and connect is an option, but going down it will be all Sente. And then a push like this threatening to save the guys. And another Kosumi. Later maybe white plays s6, and anyway if black plays Hane and connect, this is just gote for black for 1 or 2 points. So the game could have been a little closer. That's good. So much danger. This jump is nice. Destroys lots of points in the corner. Fine. I got some important endgame moves. Doesn't work to push. Too bad. Black didn't have to go down. Not much to do. Uh-oh. Here black missed a chance to kill everything. Atari first, in Sente, then Hane. And it's only one eye. So white had to pay attention. White actually, the proper way is to take the stone, then give up those 4. Well, early on, white should play Hane T18 instead of push R17. So white could collapse on the right side. But probably black didn't really want to kill all. He knew he's ahead. Doesn't even need to count this position. Lots of points in the middle, top, left, right. And also the reverse komi. So that was it. I think the bottom side could have been played a little better in the early stage, and handling the ko on the right side was quite expensive for white. Well, the ko shouldn't even happen, so instead of capturing directly, push and turn to secure the eye shape. That's probably the big takeaway from this game. Enjoy the review and go for rematch.